Every day, as many as 100 Australians are reported missing. While many are located, for each person who remains missing, it's estimated as many as a dozen people are directly affected by their absence.
Today, a new campaign is being launched aiming to highlight the impact of that loss, felt especially on missed birthdays.
Oh, my son, my baby. Today is hard, but we will get through it. When the sun turns red, our stomachs will sink. But I will keep looking to the doorway, waiting for relief. I wish I know where to go, just to tell you, happy birthday.
Gosh, Loren O'Keeffe is the founder of the Missing Persons Advocacy Network who are behind that campaign, and she joins us now. I guess if you're not in that situation, that it's hard to imagine what it must be like to not have someone around.
Indeed, and that's why we think it's really important that we do give the public an opportunity to see what happens behind the scenes. You know, beyond those vital stats on a missing persons poster, there are at least 12 people directly affected by every single disappearance. Okay,
and you're using two case studies to launch this campaign. One is Naz. We just saw his family there. Tell us about Naz. When did he go missing?
So Naz went missing from Hobart in 2016. So it's just been just over 3 years since he was last seen by his family. And we captured them marking his birthday with his mum, Hirut, reading out a poem that she's written to him, explaining that his friends are coming over and they'll be thinking of him and they'll be waiting for him, but that ultimately their stomachs will sink at the end of the day when he still hasn't returned. And that final line in the poem is really quite poignant, where she says, "I just wish I knew where to go to tell you happy birthday." And that's really the crux of this project, is conveying the agony of not knowing where your loved one is on their special day.
And it's something you also know personally.
It is, yes.
And I understand that you don't want to go into those details, but clearly you're hoping people will take a message away from this campaign. What action are you looking for? Are the families like yourselves looking for?
We're really hoping that this initiative will introduce ambiguous loss to the general public so that we can raise some much needed awareness and funds to support the families who are living with it. Because again, there are about 250,000 Australians that are living day to day with ambiguous loss, and research has shown that it is the most traumatising and unmanageable form of loss that there is, and we don't yet have any specialised support for those families, and we're hoping that this project...
And what sort of support, what would you list as a priority in terms of support for these family members?
We need to train Australian psychologists in the nuances of ambiguous loss, because it is very unique, it's very different to standardised grief, unlike traditional bereavement where, you know, it can get easier to cope with over time. It doesn't get easier to cope with ambiguous loss over time. It actually gets harder, and therefore these families need ongoing and specialised support.
And over time, do they feel that they may still be searching, but the support that they might have had initially starts to drop away?
It does tend to wane, yeah. There's the initial buzz, especially through the media when someone first disappears, and then, you know, as it endures, people do tend to fall off, and that's why it's really important that we do remind the public that there are thousands of loved ones still out there long-term missing, and their families and friends desperately need our support.
Thank you very much, Loren O'Keeffe, for coming in and explaining that on the launch of this campaign.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with that.
Thanks, Loren.
Thank you.